everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. We're talking about a little horror television today, specifically the Stranger Things 4 new trailer that just popped up. We're gonna get into all that and some theories here in just a second, but first I'm gonna need y'all to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon. The link for that will be in the description below. Alrighty, now let's get into it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
We'll tear your soul apart. Not the beast!
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
So we've been getting a whole bunch of different crazy teaser trailers for the new Stranger Things season that is officially confirmed to be coming out in summer of 2022. The one before this new one was all about Robert Englund's character, and like that's a whole nother video if I want to get into that. So if you would like to hear me talk about that teaser trailer and also the episode titles that they released for the entire season, then make sure to like this video, comment, ask me to do it, or else you're kind of a dingleberry, bro. So the trailer starts off with Eleven writing a letter to Mike saying that she has adapted to living in Cali so well and everything's fantastic. There's absolutely no problems with her character this time around, even though there are a bunch of visuals that would tell us otherwise. For example, when she's at school, we see her wave at some girl character, and then she totally dismisses Eleven, which is kind of sad. Eleven also gets shot with a spitball in the face, which is not a sign of affection whatsoever. I mean, I guess it can be, depending on what you're into, but not this case. Not in this case, no, not at all. But the most sad thing about Eleven's character, especially in this trailer, is that she's making a diorama of Hopper's cabin with a little Hopper statue that is just so sad. Because if you remember, our main characters still think that Hopper is dead, even though Noah Schnapp just kind of released to the world that, hey, Hopper's alive and he's in Russia, and then they decided to throw out that first teaser trailer for this new season, where we see Hopper with a shaved head out working in the cold winter of Russia. Obviously, that's going to be a main plot point. We even have something to talk about in this new teaser trailer that kind of relates to that a little bit. We'll get into that later, though. Now, Eleven specifically says that it's been 185 days since she left Hawkins, Indiana. So if the last season took place in the summer of 1985, and then if you remember in that last episode, it flashed forward like 3 months and then they moved, it's 185 days from there. And 185 days from October would be somewhere in April. And it makes sense because she even talks about like, hey, I'm gonna see you for spring break. Like, this is gonna be great. Now, if you remember a long time ago when I was talking about Stranger Things season 4, I speculated that maybe this season would take place in the spring. The reason I was speculating that is because there's something very specific that happened in the spring of 1986 that would really work with this plotline. So if I did my math right, technically 185 days from like right after where we left off in season 3, it would be April 7th. On April 26th of 1986, in real life, the Chernobyl power plant exploded and, well, no one can go to that city anymore because of the radiation. So could they write that actual event of history into this new season? Now, Chernobyl is obviously not in Russia, it is in Ukraine, which is two completely different countries. Now, I remember theorizing a while ago that maybe this new season would take place in 1987, because that's the same year that Nightmare 3 came out, Dream Warriors, which is like probably the most lovable sequel of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And since Robert Englund is going to be a main antagonist of this series, you would think that they would set it there. But I think this whole season is revolving around the Chernobyl accident, while also making some Freddy Krueger references along the way. We also get some shots of Jonathan and this like new character that I talked about a little while ago. He's like also this like stoner pizza delivery boy. And speaking of being a stoner, we also see Jonathan very clearly smoking the ganja, the devil's lettuce, Sweet Mary Jane, flower, bud, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I just can't say exactly what it is because then I'll get demonetized. And let me tell you right now, I am so down for stoner characters being added into Stranger Things. That would just elevate this show even more.
Hold on to your butts, bro chachos.
And let's be honest, this is where Jonathan's character was always going. In like a few years, man's going to be listening to Nevermind on full blast smoking a doobie. I don't know if I can say that or not, but he's smoking a doobie. There we go. You know what? Screw it. I'm putting it in there. We also get a quick shot of Will, who's now painting in like his little art studio. He's got a whole bunch of like art stuff all around his room, which is pretty awesome. But goddamn, his haircut is still so bad. Noah Schnapp has a good haircut too. I mean, it's not very 80s, but like this is rough, even for the 80s, man. Now, there's a very quick shot where we see Will and Eleven walking into their school. I was talking about this a little earlier when Eleven was like waving at some girl and she totally dismisses her. Now, there's also something, if you look really closely, Will is doing a project on Alan Turing. Now, I'm not gonna claim to pull this out of my ass. I had no idea who the hell Alan Turing is. I had to look it up. He is this famous mathematician that basically invented computers. To say that on a more technical level, he invented the universal Turing machine, which is the basis for all computers, essentially, and some of the first AI technology in the 1950s. Now, this could be nothing. Maybe this is just a guy that Will is like, you know, researching for whatever reason, but it could also affect the plot in some way. Maybe because like Will knows a whole bunch about computers now. We could be pulling a Jurassic Park where one of the kids is smart enough to just like take over an entire amusement park. I don't mind that plot point. I just like to point out that it's a little silly. Could we be doing something like that, kind of referencing Jurassic Park a little bit? I mean, I know the movie came out in like 1993, but like, of course, the Duffer brothers have seen Jurassic Park, I think, and are fans of it. Because that kind of takes me to my next point about all the military we see and this underground base that it gets kind of revealed in this teaser trailer. We get a whole bunch of shots of like the US military and this guy in a white shirt who I'm going to talk about a little later. All these like military officers are breaking into Joyce's house. We see a shot of Mike and Jonathan standing in a room together, and you see a soldier break through the window with his machine gun. There's also this dude in a short white shirt, like a short sleeve white shirt. He's got a gun, he's shooting at the military for some reason. I don't know who this dude is. This is clearly a new character. We don't even see like a front shot of him. We see this like very quick shot where like someone's like walking up these stairs and you see him coming around the corner, but you just see his arms and the very tip of his white t-shirt. He's some mysterious character that for some reason is defending Joyce and her family. Now, I don't know why the military is there, maybe to like kidnap 11 for some reason, but there is a shot earlier on where we see Joyce open up this what looks like a Russian doll. Could this be a secret message from Hopper, so to say? We get all these shots of these military vehicles in the middle of the desert. We also get that shot again from like one of the past teaser trailers of 11 being held up by these characters. The dude in the white shirt, I think, is the guy on the left. I can't tell. Once again, this is a big maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember I watched this trailer a couple times and I saw his face and his hair and I'm like, maybe. Once again, I still don't know who this character is. Maybe he's someone working for Papa. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if he's like in a military vehicle though, because like, wasn't he just shooting at the military guys earlier? I don't know. But then we get this shot of this door just randomly in the middle of the desert like that, and the door slowly opens. We do see, if you look very closely towards the end of the shot, we do see what looks like a Caucasian person's hand opening the door. So this could theoretically be Papa, which I think would be a great reveal. And obviously 11 is kidnapped this season. I think a lot of this season is going to be her getting experimented on again. Because if you remember from a past teaser trailer, we do get this shot of like a flashback scene of 11, like when 11 was at Hawkins' lab getting experimented on. Could that be a reference to how she gets experimented on again in this season? Because one of the last shots of this new trailer is this right here. And this is the thing that I've had so many problems with just looking at and being like, what the fuck is going on in this shot? We see someone specifically in 11's clothes when she was taken, and like she has like her, those guys are grabbing her arms and like she's looking at something and she's all scared. This person, whoever it is wearing those exact same clothes but has a shaved head. So could there be an entire arc in this new season where 11 is experimented on again and maybe gets some new powers? Because if you also see in this shot, there are a whole bunch of dead bodies and a massive explosion. So maybe Papa experiments on her again, but she gets too powerful. She becomes so powerful that she can just like basically like Firestarter, where she can just like make things explode and catch on fire with her mind. Because the specifics of her power in the past was that she could move stuff, she could like crinkle stuff, she could do stuff without she could do things to other stuff like objects without touching it. She was never able to specifically catch things on fire though, which I think we could possibly see now in the future. But if they wanted to expand on top of that and make 11 actually catch things on fire with their mind, I'm all about it, man. I have nothing against people catching things on fire with their mind, I'll tell you what. Also, kind of a side tangent here, I remember talking about this like a year ago and have heard no update on it. They were talking about doing a Firestarter remake. I don't know if that's still happening or not. I would love to do some kind of update on that. I actually really like that 1984 movie. It's one of like, I think one of the better Stephen King movies, honestly. It would explain the shaved head here of this character, like if it is 11 theoretically. That's why she would have a shaved head, is because she's been experimented on all over again. Now, to my knowledge, Millie Bobby Brown doesn't actually have a shaved head right now or has short hair. I believe she still has long hair. So like, I don't like, maybe this is like a wig or like a cap or something that she's wearing, but I definitely think this is 11 in this shot after being experimented on way later in the season. But God, I would love to see a super powerful 11 character, because then we're basically just making this a shonen anime. Overall, I am super excited to see season 4 of Stranger Things. Now we kind of have not really a release date, but we know a time frame of when it's coming out, and that's summer of 2022, baby. I cannot wait to see this new season on Netflix. What do you guys think? Are you pumped for this? Are you excited for season 4? Do you think there's going to be more seasons in the future? Leave me a comment about it down below. I also real quickly want to thank my Jason tier patrons like Nicky Triphook, Lei TheNerd, Margaret Juchum, Justin Baugh, Jesse DJ BFT, Kellen Dellaidotti, DarkFilmz Productions, and 2 Rebels. Thank Thank you all so much for watching my new Stranger Things Season 4 update. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Just look up KillJoy Jake and I'll come up. I am back from break, baby, so we are going to be posting so many videos on this channel this week, and for the rest of the month pretty much. Don't forget I have a special locations video coming on Thanksgiving this year for Thanksgiving. I actually went to all the locations and filmed a whole bunch of crazy stuff in a cool video. So make sure to check that out on Thanksgiving. Please consider supporting me on Patreon as well if you want to see more videos like this, and like my podcast a few days early, you'll be able to listen to all of that over on Patreon. So make sure to check that out. The link for that will be in the description below. I could not be continuing to make this content or any of my crazy locations videos without your support over on Patreon, so thank you all so much for that. Thank you again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.